Oh my God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty!
Hey YouTube, Fat Pastor here, and this is what I got for you today. I know it's a little bit late, but it's the HDzero BoxPro Plus, and that's going to mean something different. I've had this for a little while. I was late getting it, but I've had it for a little while, and I've been waiting because most of you know that I had a brain injury, and this eye is, my prescription is 3.5 something, and this one's 4.25. So I don't see good out of box goggles. But I ordered the custom diopters from HDzero, ordered them a week or two before the tariffs, and the tariffs are in, and they are custom diopters, so it takes a while. I was waiting on getting those before I did this full review. There is a live stream back in March, I believe it was, where I tested these outside. It's not the review. This is the review. Let's get into it and look a little bit at what you get. When you open the box, like everything HDzero, it is well packaged. You get a nice set of HDzero instructions telling you what everything is, and your menus, all of that. It comes with a nice HDzero soft plushy case with this little pouch in it that you can put your antennas and stuff in. A lot of people haven't shown this little pouch, but they got the little pouch that you can take your little stubby antennas and put them right inside of it, and the pouch will close back. So that's a nice little extra. I'm also going to put a small Desitin pack in it. That way, if you ever get a little sweaty and your goggles get wet, that Desitin pack will keep any moisture from getting into your goggles. It comes with the standard HDzero cable for the battery. It does not, the goggles does not have an internal battery on it, which is good. Trust me, it is good. You will appreciate that. It comes with the foam and all of that for your face, which I've already taken off and put on the goggles. Comes with a nice little HDzero microfiber cloth for wiping up the screen. Like I said, I was going to wait to do this review when I got the diopters to do the full review, but I'm going to work with Carl unless it costs me $100 extra, because the diopters are only like 20 bucks. You see this brass looking screw holes? That's what they will screw to. I'll just do a later review when I get those. What I found as I worked through, for me, my regular glasses, my Poindexter glasses as some people call them, that I wear every day, they are too wide. The goggles will not slide on with my glasses on. And I don't have any other prescription. I do have 4 other prescriptions, but I like this frame, so they're all in this frame. I did happen to buy these, which are 3.5 magnified readers. This will give me the ability. I've flown with them before. I put these glasses on. So if you have thin glasses, you don't have big honking Poindexter glasses like I do, you're probably going to be able to use these with them because of these little tabs right here that flip out, and on both sides makes room for your goggles. Now, let's show you, before I try to fly them, try to put them on my head or whatever, let's show you the goggles. Okay, let's take a bench look at the HDzero BoxPro Plus. It comes with the little SMA stubbies or omnis. It comes with these little antennas, and and they work pretty good. I've tested them against Lumineer right-hand circular polarized, and I think these work a little bit better. It does have the bigger head strap. It's got a place for you to hold a battery strap that's bigger, that would hold like a 4S or something. I'm currently using an old Indestructible Quads 4S battery on it. If you want to wear a 4S battery on the side of your head, there you go. This is an intake fan here on the top, and here where the fan comes out. You have the regular scroll wheel that anybody that had the HDzero goggles, you'll know all about this. This is how you move up and down in your menu, and you can select. This will start and stop your record. One of the things I like about these, as opposed to some of the other box goggles, is the DC input here. It does not have an internal battery that you've got to keep charged. Something that I want to point out, make sure that your goggles are off when you're plugging up or unplugging the power cord. I'm not saying that a 4S, a 3S, or whatever, even a 5S or a 6S is going to harm your goggles, but it's good. Just a good habit to make sure when you're done, especially for saving, turn them off and make sure they're off before you plug up another battery. This is your AV in. You can take audio video into these from a ground station or something like that if you want to. It's got HDMI out, and this is an HDMI mini. This is the out. It's got your head tracker port here on the bottom. That's what that HT means, is that it's a head tracker port. Then this is your microphone and earpiece. If you wanted to hear the audio, you could get your little microphone and earpiece. SD card. I think I'm running just a 64 gig. Yeah, Amazon cheapie. And here's your HDMI in. This is something that's different. You got HDMI out and you got HDMI in. Both of them are mini, so you can come in from a ground station or something different and go out. This is one of the good things with the new Event VRX, is you've got this HDMI in. It bypasses all of your antennas. This also has two patch antennas in the front. These are patch antennas, and these two are omnidirectional. HDzero, unlike Walksnail or DJI, they only have receiving antennas. Up in the top right, you'll see the signal strength of each of the 4 antennas that are on this. Something else, the head strap feels actually pretty nice. Of course, I've got a big melon. I have held off on this review because you may see 2 brass looking screw holes. This is for custom diopters that you can order from HDzero. I'll put a link on the screen here. When I ordered mine, I ordered before the tariffs, and I think they were just $29 or $20, something like that. So there'll be another video. I have them ordered. I don't know how much tariff are going to cost me, if anything. I really wanted to do this because I know there's going to be somebody out there that says I can't use these goggles because they don't have diopter adjustments, and I've tried box goggles and they don't work. These are not even really close to my prescription, but I'm able to fly and read everything with a cheap set of $5 Walmart readers. Now, these are my prescriptions. You could probably see they're trifocals. My prescriptions are a little too big. I mean, just a tiny, about 1/8 of an inch too big to try to fit in this hole. I've tried every way, and I'm just not going to break my glasses. And the good thing about it's only $29 for custom diopters. The last custom diopters I bought was for the Dominator V3s, and those cost me like $70. These HDzero Box Goggle Pros, or BoxPro Goggles Plus in this case, this is just another thing that HDzero has hit out of the park. I mean, these are far beyond any other box goggle that I've ever tried. These will do both HDzero and analog seamlessly, and analog better than just about any other goggle except for the HDzero full-size goggle, or binocular goggle as some people call them. The next thing we're going to look into is the ExpressLRS backpack feature. This goggle, the Plus goggle, comes with the ESP32 backpack module built inside. And what this does is this enables you to set your channels on your receiver or your radio, and it change wirelessly through your other devices. And how you got to go about doing this, and if you guys want me to, I'll make a separate video about how to do this. What you need to do is you have to use ExpressLRS Configurator to build the firmware for the goggles. This is where you'll go into ExpressLRS. You click the backpack feature. I know this is a little different. I'm doing it in my camper. But in ExpressLRS, you'll pick the backpack feature. Then you'll put the version that's in your radio, that your radio has. You'll find that in the Lewis scripts of your radio. You'll pick the HDzero goggles, and then you'll pick built-in ESP32 backpack. Then you will put in your bind phrase that's in your on your radio. The bind phrase, and every quad that has this bind phrase or recently updated ExpressLRS on it, all of these things are going to work together. So you put in your bind phrase, and then when you're done, you just hit build. You don't hit flash, you just hit build. And that's going to give you your file, your firmware version, or it's going to give you these files right here that you need. And you will build like through Wi-Fi. Instead of flash and build, you're just going to build a flash for this. Then you will bring it back. It'll give you 4 files. One of those files, here's the 4 files: boot app 0, bootloader bin, firmware bin, and partitions bin. This is what you will get when you build the file from ExpressLRS. Take these files and copy them to the root menu of your SD card. Put the SD card back in to your goggles, and it's going to put your radio and the goggles on the same firmware. What this will enable you to do is when you go in to your radio, but you'll hit the system button and then ExpressLRS, wherever you have the Lua for it, click your jog wheel. If you scroll down, all the way down, it's going to tell you what version you have of the Luas, and it's also under backpack there. You scroll all the way down on backpack, it's going to tell you the version 1.5.1. That's just like shown in the manual that I showed you earlier. So you come in here and you turn backpack on right there, and when you turn backpack on, whatever you set your VTX admin to, that's R1 power number 1. The 100 milliwatts, that's for the radio, that's not for your VTX. If I change that to R7.2 with the HDzero Whoop light, it's gonna, whenever I plug up the radio, whenever I plug up the quad, it's automatically gonna change it to R7 200 milliwatts. Right now it's set to R1. This is the thing to remember. Right now it's set to R1 25 milliwatts. It doesn't matter what you set it to in beta flight. When you turn this radio on and you boot up the quad, it's going to resort back to what you have this set to every time. You need to remember that, because if you're at a race or something and someone tells you to change and you're like, I can't change, well, you've told it not to change, because in this, at R1, the goggles are going to switch. When I fire these goggles up and this radio's on and they're connected with the bind phrase, this is automatically going to turn to R1 25 milliwatts. My Whoop will turn to R1 25 milliwatts. That is what the backpack feature does for you. Okay, first thing we're going to need to do is, if you're a Mac user, I know there's other videos out there for Android users and all of that, but I'm a Mac user, so we need to look for FPV Mate, M-A-T-E. All right, here it is. I've already downloaded it on my phone, but we're gonna go ahead and download it here. It's FPV Mate Viewer for HDzero. This app is not allowed to be used in war zones. Your location will be checked against war zone locations and stored locally in the app. Your location data is never stored and is never transferred off your device. But it is stored locally, but never transferred off your device. There we go. So I'm going to plug up the goggles. I'm going to turn them on. This will be the first time I've tried this. Let me turn the Wi-Fi on in the goggles. Box Goggles Pro are on. And I'm going to scroll down to Wi-Fi module. I'm going to enable it and apply settings. All right, I think that's it. I'm on basic, on, and host, and it's the SSID is HDzero. And I believe the password is Divimath. Go into Wi-Fi networks. There should be an HDzero one. There it is. All right, and I think the password is FPV Mate, I think. Let's see. All right, it's connecting. There we go. There it is. This is showing up on the Wi-Fi. The password is just Divimath. And here's my settings. Just the basic stuff. Basic, enable on, and host SSID, which is the name of the network you'll look for on your phone or your iPad. And then it'll go down and this will start flashing and ask you to apply the settings. Let's go back. Let's go to playback. This is actually just a playback from my goggles. This is the Mobula 8 HDzero. I don't know how we get that black bar off there. Don't really know. But yeah, here it is. This is how you do it. Infinity Loops, Heads has got a good video on how to do it with an Android. I am not an Android user. I am a Mac user. And see, this is at 25 milliwatts. People are probably thinking, that's just horrible. It was the first time I flew around the house. And if you'll look, I'm facing away, my body right over here. So that was behind my back. So the only thing that was picking that signal up was the little stubbies. So that is how you would do the Wi-Fi. Again, FPV Mate, if you're a Mac user. iPhone, I have it on my iPhone and I have it on my iPad. This is an iPad Pro right here that it's working on. And it, you know, the quality looks a lot better in the goggles than what I'm getting here. The pixelation that you're seeing on the road and stuff, I'm not seeing that in the goggles. So there is a little bit of loss. You know, none of that right there. None of those vertical columns. And it's like DJI or anything. It's, you know, it's just a replay video. So that's how you do it with the goggles, and it's pretty simple. I think it's a really neat way to let people be able to share your feed. So instead of handing someone off a set of goggles, you can just, which the app does cost like $4. So that's something to make a note of. At least at the time of this video, the app, I think it cost me $3.99. All right, we're going to move along to something else. It's a little windy out here today. I want to get to some flight footage and showing you guys that this 51-year-old half-blind old man with my trifocals can take these box goggles. Well, back years and years ago, there was a goggle called the Cyclops goggles, and I could put them over my glasses. But since then, I couldn't fly DJI. I couldn't fly any of the other box goggles. But these box goggles I can fly because they're, for one, they're the HDzero BoxPro Pro. These are hands down not your standard box goggles that you are used to. If you are new to the hobby, in my opinion, strongly in my opinion, these are the box goggles you should go with. With the HDMI in, you can put walk snail or the open IPC right on the front of this thing, and you'll be able to fly analog. This has built-in analog with all of the deinterlacing features that HDzero is known for. I fly the HDzero goggles with the TBS Fusion, and I've flown the Rapid Fire, and in my opinion, these are better. The range, it's questionable if the range is any better, but the way these switch and the deinterlacing that comes with all HDzero goggles and their HDzero screen makes analog so much better. Carl knows what he's doing when it comes to video. These goggles do not skimp anywhere. Again, HDzero, big thumbs up. Hit this thing out of the park. Pick you up some while they're still in stores, while you can still find them before tariffs hit us. So I'm gonna try to stop this and I'm gonna get into some flying. All right, let's try Mobula 8 HDzero. I'll try it, the wind is bad, but we're gonna give it a shot. And I'll tell you what I'm seeing. Right off the bat, the screen is big. Field of view is large and clear. Sits on my nose a little bit. Makes me feel like I'm talking through with my nose pinched or something. Oh yeah. Even with these non-prescription lenses, the image is good and clear. I'm gonna go around the house. I'm facing completely away. This is only the Omnis. It broke up pretty good right there, but no latency. That's something I love about HDzero. If you notice here, I went around the house. The patches are facing this way. So my windsock is dead. You can see the wind has got the flag standing almost straight out. Flying into it. Let's go with it now. This is not the best HDzero camera. You can see the power lines there, at least I can. Don't know if you will on YouTube or not, but I can see the power lines good. Can read the whoop wagon. Whoa, that was me. Wind caught me there. So yeah, this is the first time I've been able to get a pair of box goggles to work even halfway decent for me. See, we're getting some static, but again, at this point, I've got the camper and the house in between me. This is not a video about the quad that I'm flying, but the latency it's HDzero. It's spot on. I hit the ground there. That was me. Yeah, it's there. I'm a little rusty flying, and my eyes are a little bit crossed because I don't have the right script in here, but I can still see. I can see to fly. I can read all of the OSD, which is good. Go around my old John Deere here. My new one's in the shop. It got 12 hours on it and already had something wrong with it. There's my little camper. Let's see if I can come in between me and the camera without cutting my own nose off. There it goes. So I'll show you that I'm flying it. This is, wow. I mean, I'm impressed. Battery's getting low. I'm gonna bring it in, turn it to angle to land here on myself. If I can do it without the wind blowing me off course too much. I need a new cover for my grill. There was a little light leak around where the glasses come in, right in here on these flaps. When the glasses are in, these little pieces of foam flap down and you get a little light leak from the top. But most of you that are flying it are not going to need the diopters, but anything can happen. Like with me, you know, I had 20/20 vision prior to my head injury. I can feel I don't know if you can hear the fans running. Fans are running, they're blowing out on the sides. A little hotter over here on the function side. But yeah, it's top notch. top-notch box goggles here. It's something else I've learned. People ask me all the time, should I run 6S on my HDzero goggles? And the same would go true to these. You can, as long as you don't charge that 6S above 4.2 volts per cell. If you high volt charge it, you risk burning it up. But also, even if you're at regular 4.0 per cell, make sure that the goggle is turned off when you plug and unplug the cable with 6S. I'd probably even do it with 5S. I'll show you what I run most of the time. I'll run these 4S lithium ions 26, and I've got a 3S lithium ion that is 4,800 milliwatts. That's what I run. Today, I'm running something totally different. I just grabbed this because it's charged and needs to be discharged. This is a 3S 3300 ready-made RC plain battery. Just got this in my pocket, and that's what's running the goggles. So I know a lot of people, well, I got a bunch of 6S. Why risk a $200, $300 to $600 pair of goggles over a $20, $30 battery? Just get you a good, you can get these. I don't fly with the all line. I have 3 or 4 of these, and even in the 3S, I fly that because the 3S are bigger. They're not 18650, they're 4,800 milliamp, and it usually lasts me most of a race. So yeah, don't skimp on a $20 battery with a $300 to $600 set of goggles. Just don't do it. People have gotten away with it, but I've also known people that accidentally grabbed a high volt charged 6S and plugged it into their HDzero goggles and fried it. Even with the Speedy Bee and the other dongles, why risk it? My advice, don't hook a 6S battery into any HDzero goggle. Yeah, it might be fine, but why take the risk? This has been the review of the HDzero BoxPro Plus. Thank you, and remember, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, keep flying and rise up and meet me in the air.